So how do you maximize your potential? Maybe you've been asking yourself, I've done everything, I've done time management, I've done everything else, I've planned my day, but I just don't seem to really live to the maximum. I just don't seem to do what I do to the very best. So in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly that number one thing that you can do to actually skyrocket your potential. Right, so welcome to Mighty Success Blueprint. I'm really excited to have you here today. Hey, I hope you're doing great and I hope you're winning, right? Winning is the name of the game, right? Make sure you're winning. Regardless of what you do, there is not enough competition to put you out. In fact, it has been proven many times that competition is actually unreal and it is self-set up, right? And the reason is very simple. You are unique. You're the only one who can do whatever you do the very best way you do it. Nobody else can do what you do the way you do it. So I'm going to talk to you about maximizing your potential. And this is going to be pretty short, right? But before I go into that, hey, if you love content on personal development and if you love to grow, basically achievement, right? And that's personal and business achievement. Then click the subscribe button and of course the notifications bell so you don't miss any videos that I put out on a weekly basis. So let's dive right into the topic for today, which is how to maximize your potential, right? So how do you get the very best out of what you do, right? So let's say you have a business, you've been running a business for a little while or for as long, and you know beyond a shadow that you're beyond that. You can do much more than that. But there is a cap that seems to have been placed on your potential. You know, if you've lived there, drop me a comment right now and let me know. Because, hey, I have lived there. You know, I have been there in my life. You know, at point when I realized that, man, I'm worth much more than I'm doing, right? And some of those times came to me when I had, when I was still working at a job, right? Now, most of you are working at your dream job. I wasn't at my dream job. I was doing a little bit of soul grind. Now, it wasn't the worst of soul grind, like soul grinding work, because eventually I really trained myself to love my work. But I just knew that I could offer the world something better, but I just wasn't doing it. That was the difference, right? So what did I do, right? And this is the number one thing that you can actually do that will help you to actually maximize your potential. In any field, it doesn't matter what you're doing. And I'll tell you this, all you have to do is to close your eyes, right? You close your eyes and imagine what would your life be like if you had no fears? If your fears were removed, what would you do? First of all, what would your life be like? And those are two important questions you're going to ask yourself. What would your life be like if you had no fears, right? Let's say you would go and live in Australia for 2 months. And then go and live in Scotland for 2 months, and then probably go to Malaysia for 2 months. Maybe that's the dream. Maybe that's an underlying desire that's within you. But what's stopping you? That's a question I'm also going to answer later. The next question you're going to ask yourself is, what then will I have to do? What would I do if I had no fears at all, right? And then you're going to ask yourself that question. And of course, closing your eyes. And everything that comes to your mind at the time, everything that comes to your mind, because your mind answers, you receive answers from within every time you question. So it's very important that you ask the right question. So what would your life be like? And then what would I do if I had no fears at all? If my fears were removed, what would I do? And I'll tell you what, your greatest potential lies within those things that you will hear, right? Most of you have placed a cap on yourself. You're limited by yourself. You're limited by your beliefs. Maybe it's beliefs of, well, would they like my content? Maybe I don't look that great at all. Maybe, I suck at this. Maybe I am not able to do that. And you place all these limits on yourself. But I'll tell you the truth. People don't care, right? People don't care about you. And it's a sad fact. Now I do care about you, right? But I'll tell you the truth. People don't care. I'm not saying they are not, they are cynical and, not everybody is like that. People actually care about you, but what they don't care about is how you look, how you behave, how you talk. People don't care, right? So go out there with everything that you've got. Remove your fears, remove the cap that you've placed on yourself, right? And only you can remove it. But it starts with imagination. It starts with asking yourself those two questions. What would I do? What would my life be like if I had no fears at all? So those are two very important questions that you're going to ask yourself. And of course, you close your eyes, and if you can, once in a while, take out a pen and paper, and put it there, and once in a while, write down everything that comes to your mind, right? Maybe I would go ahead and start that business. I would walk into that office. Maybe I would go into that bank and request for funding. Heck, if you have to get funding to get started, that's up to you. Go for it, and nothing will stop you. And of course, there is, things like being relentless, right? So because that's number one quality, you've got to be relentless. Many times and sometimes and many times, things will not just happen because you're doing, right? Sometimes things will take time. It's okay, you got to be patient, but be relentless and understand that nothing is stopping you. And when you set out to do anything that you want to do, nothing can stand in your way, apart from yourself, when you cap yourself with those thoughts, right? So I hope this video helped, because that's really, really very basic, and it sounds really simple, and it's very easy to ignore. But I'll tell you, don't ignore this information. Don't ignore this. Work on it right now. Take out a pen and paper, and put it by yourself. Put it on your desk. Close your eyes and ask yourselves these questions. These two questions. What would I do? And what would my life be like in the first place? And then what would I do, right? What would my life be like? And what would I do if I had no fears at all? So thank you very much. I hope this video helped. And I hope you take action even right now. And I hope that, yes, you will live beyond your limits. So thank you. Drop me some comments to let me know what you think about what I have shared. It stands out to me because at some point I should have had this information, but I never did. But, you're hearing it now. Take action. Do something, right? Bless you and see you next time.